Ladies and gentlemen, My Hero Academia's war has finally started!
That's what I've been waiting for.
Welcome back everyone, it's time to go deep! And My Hero Academia's chapter 334 has given us our first glimpse into what matchups we can expect to see going into the climax of this amazing story. We of course have Darby vs Shoto and his father Endeavor, but also All For One vs All Might? The man we thought had retired is ready for his swan song. But most importantly guys, yes, the most important thing we learned from this chapter is that Monoma has become the main character.
Who?
Guys, come on. I'm talking about the copy guy. You know, this guy.
Who?
Come on, were you guys not paying attention? The one who can copy other people's quirks.
コピーしたコピー忍者のかかし
Alright, now you guys are just taking the piss. I'm talking about the kid that Horikoshi said was based off Harry Osborn from Spider-Man.
Who?
Okay, so moving straight into the chapter, we continue on from the epic Avengers standoff we got at the end of chapter 343. But come on guys, I can't be the only one who noticed this. Is this a blatant ripoff or what?
Shut your stupid.
Okay, obviously my guy Horikoshi got inspired. You know, that is okay, man. People can actually get inspired and it's not seen as a, you know, a ripoff. It's not seen as a ripoff, you know? You can get inspired, you can copy some of the art styles, the way the characters move and, you know, copy the titles, the thumbnails. You can do all these things. Come on, man. Hey, bro. Sorry, alright? Hey, cut this bit out, man. I'm taking a piss.
No, I don't think I will.
So this chapter starts with a flashback explaining how the heroes managed to get a number over All For One and this time be the ones to ambush the villains. This flashback shows All Might in the student dorms sharing his insight on his and his predecessor's nemesis for decades. He says that to catch All For One they have to lure him out as he is a coward and what is needed is to make him feel like he is in control. My guy Bakugo sums up the false security the heroes needs to give off perfectly with an amazing impression representing the act the heroes needs to follow of feeling hopeless in this search for All For One. Sukauchi, All Might's friend at the police force, also assumes that the villains have the Surge quirk which they stole from Tomoko, a member of the Wild Pussycats. This Surge quirk was instrumental during the first war for the villains as Shigaraki always had a clear sense of where his target Deku was in the battlefield. So if they are not careful, Surge will let the villains know of any surprise the heroes have planned out. With this information in mind, Eraserhead had concocted a plan that they should use Ayoma as bait in an isolated location to lure All For One and the villains in. Since their goat Deku has come back to the heroes, they can use this against the villains. The heroes needs to use Deku's underdog position that he currently has to give the villains a false sense of security. Show them how exhausted Midoriya is and how he and the heroes are growing impatient by making one bad move after another. Everything has been going according to this plan created by Aizawa to use Ayoma to give All For One a sense of false security and then to show himself. In many ways, this inclusion of Ayoma bringing down All For One would redeem him and his betrayal. His friends and the heroes after all wants to have a perfect and happy ending. Ayoma in a way is also a victim, so any wrongdoings he went through should be, you know, he needs to be given a pass, alright? He needs to give that, he needs that redemption card, okay? However, our second best girl Momo interjects saying Ayoma's father said that All For One has a way, most likely a quirk, to instantly know if someone is lying to him. And the very instant he gets a whiff of a lie, they are killed. Subsequently, this would obviously put a huge target on Ayoma's family. But we are only heroes here. They can't do any of that villains bait stuff, endangering mere civilians. It's not like they were the ones who forced the child into being a spy just so he could live a life like everyone else. Literally, these parents made a deal with a devil and followed through, put their child in a compromising position and even begged him to continue on because they were scared and feared what might happen if they didn't follow through. So Ayoma's parents may or may not have aided in this whole downfall, but they somehow are victims of a great evil that is All For One, and opposing him are the heroes protecting the victims and the innocent. innocent. Okay, maybe I'm being a bit too harsh on the parents. They just wanted what's best for their child, I guess. But honestly, this goes back to the overall problem we have in society, to feel inclusive and not feel different. They feared that their child would be an outcast, not having a quirk, not having friends, not being a hero. Likewise, having a useless quirk or a quirk that brings a negative effect in society puts the person in the same insecurity. This theme is shoved to our face throughout this series, even the villains being a representation of this, from Shigaraki, Dobby, Spinner, Toga, literally everyone. Regardless, this problem Momo brought is somehow instantly countered with a solution, as it's revealed that, according to Aoyama's parents, the only way that All For One is able to contact them is through audio transmission. Nothing is written down, and Aizawa doubts that All For One has the time to confirm every fine detail with many of his friends before he makes a move. On top of that, he will already have a false sense of security through the fake bad decisions being made by the heroes. However, with that said, it's not like All For One was a man who meticulously planned and plotted for decades to have the power of One For All. From recruiting Shigaraki and having patience for so long, like all of that doesn't matter anymore. My guy is meant to be a chess player who has backup plans for his backup plans. But since he got a few victory royales, he has become complacent in the last few weeks? Like what? But moving past any nitpicks of All For One's character, Aizawa big brains and concludes with this information, that if there is absolutely no trace of lies in the person's voice, All For One will let his guard down and appear before them. Like he literally has no reason to believe that his quirk won't work. This is All For One, he's arrogant, he's confident. However, for this plan to work, a key hero is needed. Hitoshi Shinso. I don't know why I said the name like that. Oh, come on guys, Aizawa's #1 disciple? Everyone is delighted to see Shinso as he is dripped out. Man's got a new fit similar to his sensei Aizawa. Frog Girl says that when she heard about the plan, she was surprised, as before this, even at the joint training arc, Shinso had no idea on how to make people talk. If you guys remember, Shinso's quirk is called brainwashing, and it allows him to put someone in a state where they are forced to obey whatever he commands. If you guys actually think about it, it's kind of good that he ain't a villain, because he can actually do pretty sussy things. But anyways, he can only activate this power when his target verbally responds to something he says, and now it seems like he can even make them speak. By doing this, he can make it out that the person speaking is believing in what they are saying. This is exactly how they tricked All For One. Shinso says that a lot has happened in the last few months. He was going to transfer to the hero course in April, so he thought he had to train hard to keep up with everyone. That's why he surpassed his limits and went plus ultra of his own quirk, making Yami proud.
What did he say?
Remember guys, in chapter 176, we learned that new spells can be unlocked in near-death situations. So it does make sense that Shinso can now control people's voices.
Yusuf, that's the wrong anime, mate. That is black.
Oh shit, I'm sorry guys. I'm running a bit low on gamer subs because of the storm, so forgive me. But don't be like me, don't run out of gamer subs. Remember to use the code ABD for 10% off by clicking the link in the description below.
Anyway, the chapter continues with Shinso proclaiming that he can do this. If he brainwashes Aoyama and his parents to make them talk, then his intentions and emotions will not interfere with each other. But it will be tough to meet the conditions required to achieve it in the first place. No one's listening to those, they all flock around him asking him, "What's your hero name, Shinso? You look so cool." Because, the world could be ending and all that, but, "Oh, we need to know your hero name because you can't be a hero if you don't have a cool name, right?" Like seriously, just think about that for a second, right? You could be held at gunpoint and a hero could come to save you, but it's like, "Excuse me, do you have a cool hero name?" "No." "But I don't want saving then. What's the point?" It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, whilst everyone is gushing over Shinso, Tokoyami starts asking the real questions. What the hell should they do after he lies to All For One, drawing him out? Like, how the hell are they gonna bag all of the villains? If they have a lot of heroes at that spot for the ambush, then they're just gonna find out instantly. But then All Might uses his big brain 900 IQ plays to come up with a solution. If there's no one there, then they'll never find out. Whoa, no way, man, that's so cool. So big brain. What? No way. We then cut to Monoma, Vlad Sensei, and Aizawa, where they will use Monoma's copy quirk to copy Kurogiri's warp gate for the ambush. Monoma seems unsure, as he would have to learn to use a new quirk proficiently in just a few days. Aizawa then apologizes because Kurogiri was his friend Shirakumo from his days as a student, yet he couldn't reach out to the state that he is currently in. Aizawa doesn't even know if he is Shirakumo or Kurogiri at this point. If you guys are confused about their relationship, then check out the video we did about him and the dark truth behind Aizawa's past, which you can find in the pinned comment and description down below. But Aizawa also reveals to us that because he lost his eye, he can't use his Eraser quirk in the war anymore, basically making him useless. And by not being able to reach out to his best friend Shirakumo, only piled onto his feeling of uselessness even more. Remember guys, Aizawa was OP as hell during the First War, as if it wasn't for him, Shigaraki's decay would have killed literally everyone. Monoma though, still feeling unsure, states that his whole life he was told that he couldn't become a superhero with his quirk. His quirk had been deemed the quirk of a side character. However, with this plan to end the tyranny of All for One, the fate of the world rests upon the shoulders of this side character's quirk. This proved to him that there is no such thing as a side character, that he was never a side character to begin with, which his sensei Vlad had been telling him this entire time. We then flash forward back to the present day, with Monoma emerging out of the Warp Gate portal, bringing with him an army of heroes. It is at this moment that Monoma realizes that he is truly the protagonist of his own story. Bear in mind, at best, that story will be a spin-off, probably. I'm sorry, but I've got to tell you the truth. What is important is that the war has finally started, people. All Might is in command of the forces and yells out that this is the final battle. This is where the fate of the Hero Society rests, as All for One intends to steal One for All right here, right now, which will allow him to stop hiding and running. Shigaraki then slowly gets up whilst Dabi charges in straight against the heroes. Shigaraki calls out Dabi's name, but he doesn't give a shit about All for One or Shigaraki's plans anymore. He only cares about one thing, and that is to torment his father Endeavor and his brother Shoto. Dabi's goals have pretty much come to fruition by his actions at the end of the last war, where he revealed to the world the truth about being Endeavor's son, which greatly destroyed his reputation, which he so cherished. There was simply no way Endeavor could ever cross the bridge to All Might's level after Dabi exposed him. Dabi destroyed Endeavor's dream, as it was Endeavor's dream that destroyed Dabi's life, all through the harsh training and mental abuse that Dabi and his mother received from Endeavor's hands. And as Dabi stated in chapter 267, his dream was also to bring Stain's will to reality, to rid the world of corrupt and fake heroes similar to his dad, who were heroes for the prestige and for their own selfish reasons. All of these fake heroes have turned tail and ran away now, since their own life could be in grave danger in this war, as we saw in chapter 300. Moving back to the chapter though, Dabi shoots out a huge amount of fire straight at his father, but this doesn't affect him much, as Shoto then emerges, blocking it, coming out of the fire unfazed. He calls Dabi his stupid big brother, getting rid of all the fire that Dabi had produced, which allows for more heroes to come out the portals, charging straight ahead. All for One then starts levitating in the air and calls everyone insects crawling under him, but All Might then screams out, "System Troy on!" Giant metal cages begin emerging from beneath them, trapping all of the villains. All for One laughs as the insects actually thought that a cage could stop them at this point. He thinks to himself that the heroes must know that the villains can break through the cages in just a few seconds, so why did they put all of this effort into planning to trap them? And then within 0.0001 millisecond or something, using the power of anime logic, All for One figures it out. The heroes seem elated that their plan has worked so far. The villains, now separated individually by the Troy system, are then transported away from the UA compound by Monoma's stolen warp gate quirk. The plan of the heroes to separate the villains is now in full effect, meaning that they can share the power equally around the battlefield and more than likely have mapped out the positions of the heroes who are the perfect counter to some of the villains that they face off against, giving them the upper hand. This plan of the heroes is actually a parallel to the USJ arc all the way back at the beginning of this series, where Kurogiri, using the warp gate quirk, summoned the League of Villains to the new students at UA to defeat All Might, and they brought with them a Nomu specifically designed to counter All Might, whereas now the roles have reversed. Warp Gate has been taken back by the heroes as it once belonged to one, and now they are using it to summon all of the heroes to fight the villains and to defeat All for One, using a tactic specifically designed to counter him. It symbolizes just how far everybody on both sides has come. In the beginning, the League of Villains was nothing more than just a ragtag bunch of wannabe bad guys formed by All for One, with Class 1A being startup wannabe heroes. Now, these very same villains threaten the safety of the entire world, and it is down to these same kids to now stop them. We then see All for One being teleported away alone, with All Might watching on. Now, the paneling at first makes you think that All Might is actually going to face off against All for One. However, we all know that All Might would just get slapped up, but the two are still engaging in a mental war. It has even been stated by Tsukauchi how although All Might lost once before and had his internal organs ruined, he is still alive, therefore he can still win. Essentially, All Might may have lost the battle, but he can still win the war. Now, with the war truly heating up, it is important that you guys understand each of the villains going into this climax. So make sure to check out the video on your screen right now so that you can fully understand each one of them. Thank you all for watching, and bye bye.